Yes, indeed, it's another episode of Jill versus the Machines. This time, eBay. On the 25th of June in the year of our Lord 2026, I received 2 emails, both of which said basically this. Hello, username. We wanted to let you know that your eBay account has been permanently suspended because of activity we believe was putting the eBay community at risk. I read this email the next day because my nearly 21-year-old eBay account is attached to my even older Hotmail account, and I thought, what activity? I mean, I did buy 2 long-sleeve tops in the month of June, and it was very hot, but surely that's only risky to me. For reference, this is my account page. No negative feedback in the last 12 months, which is how far back that goes. Over 300 transactions over almost 21 years. Come on. My friend, codename Eleanor, says she's never known anyone like me for getting banned off of websites, which, I mean, that's fair. I said, maybe I don't get banned off websites more often than other people. Maybe it's just that I make slightly amusing videos about it. I mean, she's right. For someone who is so boring and law-abiding, I have trouble with a lot of different accounts. There was the YouTube demonetization saga of late 2024. That was getting banned off Twitch in 2025. And now in 2026, it's apparently eBay's turn. The thing is, as someone who is terminally online for her job, I kind of expect to have problems with, say, Twix or YouTube or Twitch or Instagram or TikTok, because every so often people remember that they hate me, and, you know, mass reporting of accounts is a thing that sometimes happens, and so that kind of makes sense. But nobody knows that eBay account Jill is the very terrible Jill Bearup, and so I'm thinking it's probably not targeted harassment in this case, it's probably just random computer error. Unless it's Dodgy Sandalman, but we'll come back to him in a second. So I fire up the eBay customer service website, and the AI tells me that if I need to pay eBay money, I should do that. But I don't owe eBay any money. Okay, you can appeal the decision with the link in your email. There is no appeal link in the email. Okay, you can use this link. That gives me a 404 error. Oh, sorry, this link. That's the same link, 404 error. Here, use this one. No, that's the same. Can I speak to a human, please? Yes, what is your phone number? And fair play to them, within 2 minutes I was in fact talking to a customer service representative. Customer service representative number 1 does not know why my account has been suspended. He says, however, that he will lodge a complaint on my behalf and I should have an answer within 3 days. And I say, I think the reason my account has been suspended is because Dodgy Sandalman has dobbed me in. And then I explain to him what I am about to explain to you. At the end of April 2026, I thought I really need to replace my summer sandals. The ones I bought on eBay last year. They're very much wearing out. So I went on eBay and I purchased a brand new pair for £9.99. I know, last of the big spenders here. They arrived in the first week of May, and at the beginning of the 3rd week of May, I thought, my new sandals, I should put them on and walk the very short distance to the post office in them. I hadn't walked very far when I realised there was something quite wrong with these shoes. To wit, they weren't actually holding my feet on the footbed. What was happening instead? Well, due to, I think, a manufacturing error, the straps that are supposed to hold your foot on top of the sandal were holding my foot off the sandal so that my heel was sitting on the ground. This also meant that the strap at the front, which was supposed to hold my toes, didn't. Since this combination of traits rendered these sandals completely useless as footwear, I went home, took pictures of them, which I am not going to share on the internet, and sent them back. I checked faulty in the returns box, I boxed them up and posted them away, and I got my refund on the 22nd of May. No problem. Until the 28th of May, when I received the following communication from the seller. Hello there, we have received your returned item, however it has not been returned in unworn condition as the shoe has obvious signs of wear. We ask for all items to be returned to us for a refund in their unworn resaleable condition in the original shoebox. As your item is no longer in unworn resaleable condition, we are unable to issue a refund for you. If you would like the item returned back to yourself, please provide a prepaid label for us to send this back to you. Kind regards. I returned your shoes because they are defective. Having tried to walk in them for 5 minutes, it became obvious that they do not hold feet, as seen in the photos I sent, hence my marking them as defective, not a return. Hi, we allow customers 30 days to try items on to check they are a comfortable fit. As this item has been returned in worn condition, we cannot accept this item. We shall escalate this with eBay. Kind regards. I said, great, I'll do that too. But as it turns out, because I'd already been refunded, I could not escalate. Oh well. I think, I said to customer service representative number 1, Dodgy Sandalman has dobbed me in and tried to get me banned because I wanted a refund for his faulty shoes. I'm sure it's not that, said customer service representative number 1. The system only issues bans on the basis of repeated patterns of behavior. I said, because I'm not so sure, but I thank customer service representative number 1 for his time and I go about my weekend. 4 days later, on Tuesday the 30th of June, I still have not received any communication from eBay. So I go back to the customer service AI and say, hey, could you get someone to call me, please? Customer service representative number 2 also doesn't know why my account has been banned, but if there's a complaint, we only respond if we feel there's something to respond to. That was not at all clear, but never mind. That being said, says customer service representative number 2, I'm looking at your account right now and I can't really see any reason that you would have been suspended, so I'm going to send an appeal through. Just give me a moment, please. I am put on hold. A couple of minutes later, he comes back off hold and says, I'm terribly sorry, but someone has already tried to appeal the decision and been turned down, and so I can't appeal it again, so I'm afraid the suspension stands. Oh, I say. Right. Well, in that case, I would like to make a subject access request. Maybe if I have a copy of all the data you hold on me, then I'll be able to figure out why you banned me. Only problem is, I say to customer service representative number 2, I can't actually make a request for my data because when I go onto my profile page and click on the link, I get an error. Customer service representative number 2 says, no problem, I will send you a direct link to your email, which he does, and I click on the link and I fill it out and I submit it and there is an error. So I submit it again and it goes through. Hooray, I say. I'll just wait for that. That same day, I get an email to my Hotmail account saying, please provide proof of identity via this link, which I do. And then I get another email saying, thanks for doing that. It'll be 10 to 15 days for us to process your request. And I think, great. But then I also get an email to the address associated with my company eBay account, which says, hello, why have you sent us this proof of identity? What is it you need? And so I have to explain that my personal account has been permanently suspended and that is why I've sent them proof of identity. Oh right, no problem. And so we wait. And I get nothing. And so on the 15th of July, I go back to the customer service AI and I say, please can you arrange a call from customer services? But it insists on trying to help me first. Which it does not. Of course it doesn't. I tell it the problem and then it gives me information about requesting data, but I've already done that. I just want the data. After going around a couple of times, it agrees to get a customer service representative to call me, and I am connected to customer service representative number 3. This one's a lady. She very politely tells me that she is looking into things and she needs to put me on a hold, and so she does, and then 5 minutes after I've been on hold, she comes back and says, I'm terribly sorry, it's taking a little longer than I thought. I have now been on the phone for 13.5 minutes. I think I've been on hold for about 12 of them. I'm gonna put you back on hold, so she does for another 5 minutes, and then she comes back and says, I'm so sorry it's taking so long, but we're nearly there, and then I think she accidentally hangs up on me. She probably didn't do it on purpose, but when I try to call back, obviously you can't just call the person back. You are now in the AI system of the phone, and the phone's AI system is way worse than the one on the website. So I go back to the website and request another call back, and I'm put on to customer service representative number 4. Customer service representative number 4's first question is, are you turning your account into a selling account? And I say, no, I have sold over the last 21 years. Maybe 2 or 3 things on eBay, and in May, my husband asked me to sell a signed cricket bat that he has, like sports memorabilia, so I put that on the website in May, and it got relisted in June, I suppose, but it's not a selling account. I bought 3 things in the month of June. I tried to sell 1 thing. These are not equivalent. I'm just going to put you on hold while I look into this, he says. Okay, thank you very much. And so he puts me on hold. And after some minutes, he comes back off hold and says, the reason my eBay account has been suspended is, drumroll please, they needed to verify my identity because they thought I was turning my eBay account into a selling account, and so they were concerned that maybe the eBay account had been hacked or something because they didn't know if it was me doing the selling. So instead of asking or sending an email or sending a message in the app to verify my identity, they just banned the account and then sent me an email saying that they had banned the account because of behavior that was endangering the community. Right. Of course. Your eBay account has now been reinstated, says customer service representative number 4, and I say, wow, thank you, that's really helpful. By the way, I submitted a subject access request 15 days ago and I haven't heard anything back. Could you look into that, please? Let me check that out, he says, and then he comes back a couple of minutes after that and says, listen, there seems to be a bit of a backlog, so why don't you just submit the request again? So I go onto the link that I was sent by customer service representative number 2, these 15 days ago, and I submit it again right then while I'm still on the phone with him. Okay. And then on the 16th of July, which is the next day, just for good measure, I go back to my newly reinstated eBay account and I go to the Request My Personal Data tab on the menu or whatever it is, and I submit all of the things there as well. Naturally, I get a confirmation email of this request to my Hotmail account, and then also another email to my business account saying, I'm sorry to hear that you want to close your account. Here are the steps you can take to do that. Excuse me? No, I say, I do not want to close my account. I do not want to close any of my accounts. My other account was permanently suspended, and I've been trying to get the data to find out why. We can confirm, says the reply, that we received your request for data on the 16th of July. What happened to the other two? What happened to the other two that were sent to the specific link that I was told to send them to? Which I got a confirmation email for, which I was required to provide proof of identity for. What happened to them? Are they just in the void now? The answer to this is probably yes, because at this point they would have expected me to give up. But I haven't been that well since the end of April, and while I think we're out of the woods now, I do have spirometry next week. I have the time and the patience and the sheer cussedness just to keep nagging at them until they actually do what they're supposed to do. Most people have lives and jobs and limited time and energy, and so they can't do this. But I can, like some kind of customer service nightmare. I am not your worst nightmare in customer service because I do mix this spite and too much free time with glacial politeness. I don't shout at people, I know it's not their fault, but I do just keep calling until someone does something. eBay said it will take about 7 days for them to send all of my data to me via email. Would we like to take any bets? At this point, I don't think that any of the data that they're going to send me will actually be useful, but I just want to know that they will comply with data protection legislation, so I want it anyway. Anyway, what we have learned is probably the wrong word from this experience. What we have had reinforced from this experience is the following. 1. Getting a real person on the phone is generally the best option. That doesn't mean it's a good option, it's just better than all of the other ones. 2. Data requests to eBay which aren't sent via your account just disappear into a gaping void in space-time. 3. You should never assume that a company is telling you the truth about why you have been banned, because they just make things up. 4. Nobody at eBay seems to give much of a toss about GDPR. I know, you're shocked. And 5. It doesn't seem to be Dodgy Sandalman's fault at all. I have maybe maligned him unfairly. It seemed to be because I tried to sell my 4th ever item on eBay, and 6 weeks later, the computer said no. Okay. Last minute update, I may have maligned eBay slightly unfairly on the GDPR thing. It's Monday morning, and on Sunday at 2:02, I got an email from eBay saying, hey, your subject access request is ready. It gave me a link to go to something called Kiteworks. It asked me to choose a password, so I did. And then it gave me a secure message with eBay with both a cover letter saying what kinds of data I might expect to find and a zip file. Can I open the zip file? Absolutely not. It's password protected. But it exists, I guess. How do I find out what the password is? They're going to send me a letter in the post. Or I can contact customer support with the reference number and they'll be able to give me the password. Well, I thought I'd like to get this video up today, i.e. Monday, we'll see if that happens, which means I need to contact customer support again. So I tried the AI chatbot and the AI chatbot had no idea what I was talking about. So I asked for a customer service representative. Customer service representative number 5 called me at 7:45 a.m. and he had no idea what I was talking about. I requested my data, or data. I'm using them interchangeably because I don't really care. A couple of weeks ago, he said, and I didn't have to put in a password. That's very strange. We don't usually give out passwords. We don't know your passwords, right? We can send you a password reset link if you forget your password for your account, but this is strange. I said, do you need to talk to the SAR team? And he said, yes, I think I do. Let me just put you on hold. So he puts me on hold, and then he comes back and says, okay, I've talked to a couple of people, and they have no idea what's going on either. Ah, I say, all right. He then confirms that the address on file for me is in fact the address that I currently live at, so presumably at some point I'm going to get a letter in the post with a password in it, but he also says that he's going to look into it and try and call me back today. I feel like the chances of that happening are slim to none, but we'll see what happens. And as I go and put this footage into the computer, I've received an email saying, please send me some screenshots of what you have received. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hot dang, I came back from the shops to find an email from customer service representative number 5 to say, hey, I found out what the password is supposed to be, but I can't send it to you via email, so that's not secure. I tried to call you, but you were not picking up, which is fair enough. You can call a customer service representative, or you can get them to call you and tell them it's in the MAC notes. I don't know what that means, but nonetheless, I go back on the AI chatbot and I say, please make with the calling. And customer service representative number 6 calls me, and I say to her everything that customer service representative number 5 has said to me, and she says, yes, I see the email we sent you. Okay, let me just go and have a look for that. And then she reads the password out to me, and I type it in, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. 21 years worth of data from eBay. Hot dang. Incidentally, if you saw my post about trying to buy my mum the same fountain pen that I have, but I couldn't find a record of it on eBay or on Amazon, it turns out it was just more than 5 years ago, and so eBay doesn't keep records that long. Unless you make a subject access request. I mean, you guys had already told me what kind of fountain pen it was, so I already knew that it was a 126, and so I could order my mother one, but, you know, it's nice to have confirmation. Anyway, this had literally just happened 5 minutes ago, and so I guess the public version of this video is actually going to be different to the patron and member version of the video, which went up earlier today, because now I've got to edit this part in. But yay! If you've ever wondered where Bren's bureaucratic nightmares in Just Space Me Now come from, let's just say I have a deep well to draw from. On Patreon, Just Space Me Now is up to episode 20. Publicly, we're only up to episode 16, but I need to get a few more done to make sure that we're actually going in the right direction, because I got very stuck. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you soon.